Answer, and I will make you look fucking ridiculous. I don't do that. I don't bother with that shit. And the reason I don't bother with that shit is very, very simple. The reason all the other comedians do that is to establish dominance. It's about me showing you I'm in charge. It's about me showing you I'm superior. That's why comedians do what they call crowd work, why they approach someone and say, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I've been there, it's a shithole." It's about establishing dominance. It's about establishing that I'm better than you are. I don't do that because I don't need to. I'm British. You all know I'm better than you. There's absolutely no point with me wasting time with that crap. The title of this show is My Life is a Joke. I will slowly but surely, as we go on, explain why my life is a joke. But it is basically, I do a lot of stupid things. I have done a lot of stupid things. And a lot of stupid things have happened to me. Which for my former students, there's different tense is being used there, like past, present, future tenses. I'm just showing my former students from last week. Yes, I know how tenses work. The one that I didn't explain there is how tense I fucking am right now, and my buttocks are clenching. My buttocks are really clenching. I'm really tense. This is a free show. You didn't have to pay to get here. Please pay for your beer. Don't fucking run away. I don't want to pay your tab. But there will be a pot handed round later on. If you think I've earned money, throw money in there. I will appreciate it. If you think I'm shit, then don't. I'm not going to lie. I have here a little bit of a reminder script. When I first started doing comedy, I always had a pad and paper. That didn't work very well because I went to school in England, so I wasn't taught how to write. I then kind of progressed to writing things on my phone, but standing here going, what do I do next? What do I know? That just looks shit. So I'm pretending that I know what I'm doing by having this piece of paper here. I'm hoping it's going to help me. It might not help you much, but if you see me wandering over this way, it's not just because of beer. It's mainly because of beer. So, I already said that I'm a recovering alcoholic. And yeah, that was a little bit of a joke, but not completely. I grew up in the UK. I spent most of my life working in pubs, working in bars. And since I was quite young, I've known that the amount I drink is going to be detrimental to my health the older I get. Liver disease, kidney disease, all of the fucking things that happen when you drink too much, I'm aware of them. I've seen people die of alcohol poisoning. I was aware of these things from a young age. So even when I was like 20 years old, I was like, I need to try to cut. I need to try to curb down how much I drink. I don't necessarily need to stop. I don't think I could stop because there's a little bit of alcoholic in me. But I need to be certain, like, if ever there's a situation where I have an accident, for example, and a doctor says, if you don't stop drinking, you will die, I need to know that I can stop drinking. So for most of my life, I've had 1 month a year where I don't drink. And sometimes a little bit longer. It's a thing that I've always tried to do, and I can tell you that the longest I ever went without alcohol was 8 months, which I was really happy about. And then I was born. There may be a reason that I drink too much. Is I will come later in the show. I will explain about my insomnia and the fact that I'm really bad at sleeping. So when I was 2 weeks old, my mother would dip the top of my milk bottle in whiskey. And then it got to a point by the time I was 2 months old that she would dip the bottle of my whiskey in milk to try and make me go to sleep. Because I was never great at sleeping, but I'll come on to that more later on. I'm going to jump forward quite a bit. Like, I'm going to try to structure this show a little bit around like when I was younger to when I was older. But right now I'm going to jump forward quite a long way because I saw a message on Facebook yesterday that I think it would have upset most guys. I found out why my ex-girlfriend left me yesterday. She left me because my penis was too small. And I think this would upset most men, most guys. They'd be like, oh my God, I'm terrified. I'm so traumatized at the fact that my penis is so small. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't that bothered. I was never that into her. Apparently people like that joke. That's good. Even my current girlfriend likes that joke. It's really good. A little bit more about me. I've been in the Czech Republic now for 16 and a half years. People always get confused, like, I'm from England, like this land of opportunity, and it's a great place, everybody wants to go there. What brought you to the Czech Republic? And I kind of, most recently a bus. But I've also come here by plane, and a couple of times by train, but most recently I came by bus. That's what brought me here. But yeah, England, this land of opportunity, the greatest magic trick of all time. I think the two greatest magic tricks of all time. In second place is nobody at all blames Austria for Adolf Hitler. Nobody. The fucker was Austrian. He was an artist who was shit at art, who decided to fucking take over the world and kill millions of people. And everyone's like, Germany, it's your fault. The fucker was Austrian. He could have been stopped at source, but he wasn't. That's the second best magic trick of all time. The greatest magic trick of all time is, I can say this as a British person, and as a student of history. What have the British done historically? We've gone all around the world. We've raped, we've stolen, we've butchered, we've enslaved, we've taken, you've got all of these really important artifacts for your country. We're going to take them back to England. We're going to put them in the British Museum. And 400 years later, when you want them back, we'll say, no, you can't have them back. Someone might steal them. Didn't we already do that? We've drawn lines on maps where there didn't used to be lines. And kind of go, hey, you know what, your next door neighbour? He's Pakistani, you're Indian, you fucking hate each other, now kill each other. Millions of people died. So many fucking horrible things the British have done throughout history. And what do you all call us? Gentlemen. That is the greatest magic trick of all time. That the rest of the world considers the British gentleman. How the fuck did we do that? We're a tiny island that's just been bastards to everybody. But you call us gentlemen. A little bit more about me. A little bit more... obviously, I said I've lived here for 16 and a half years as a white British person living in the Czech Republic. That means that I'm an expat, not an immigrant. If anyone has ever wondered what is the difference between expat and immigrant, immigrants have real jobs, expats work in IT or they teach English. I'm very happy to say that I managed to avoid that stereotype a little bit, because I don't work in IT or teach English. I've done both. I used to work in IT, now I teach English. So does that make me a super expat? The expat supreme, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I teach English. There are a few of my students from last week here, because I have recently started teaching in schools, which is much more challenging than what I was doing for the last few years of teaching online. Teaching online was basically, I was getting paid to play with children online. Not in that way. Not in that way. I wasn't being paid by the Catholic Church. Yes, there was one incident where, because I was teaching online, I woke up a little bit late for a lesson. I ran to my computer, I turned it on, and I was on the Skype lesson, and I was having the conversation with a student, and someone rang the doorbell, and I got up to go and answer the door, and then realized that I was naked from the waist down. My student was not impressed. My student was 10 years old, and my student was really like, fucking really? What has just happened? The thing that she was most unimpressed of was the fact that her penis was bigger. But I think I already told you I have a small penis. So this is why I'm here, because I'm trying to make up for the fact that I have a small penis. But I'm really good at drinking. And there will be some stories about that later. What I'm going to do now is I need to double check my list. I'm going to mention that there are 3 things that I have achieved in my life that nobody else has ever done. I am the only person ever to go to America and lose weight. I'm quite certain I am the only person ever to come to this country and drink less. And I also accidentally invented the world's most expensive drink. But that I will leave till later on. I need to check time because I have a bus to catch. Yeah, okay. I'm now going to, the rest of the first half of this show is I'm going to tell some stories about me when I was a child. And then we'll have a little break where there will be a competition, you can win prizes. And then I will tell some stories about me as an adult that are more ridiculous than me as a child. The first story I will tell about me as a child was when I was about 4 years old. I was a bit of a monkey. I liked climbing on things. And in our garden where we lived, there was this like really small shed. I say small, it's about my height, but really narrow. And I climbed on top of it, and I was like, yeah, look at me, look at me. I'm like, I climbed up really high, I climbed up really high, I climbed up really high. And then the roof caved in. And when the roof caved in, I found out that what this little shed was. This little shed Most of you are quite young, you wouldn't understand this concept. But in the 1970s in England, we still had outdoor toilets. And the little shed that I jumped up on, and then the roof caved in, that was an outdoor toilet. And when the roof caved in, I fell into about 45 years of people shitting in a hole in the ground. I wasn't overly happy with the outcome of this. My mother was definitely much less happy. My mother was very unimpressed. My mother saw the thing collapse, so she knew I was there, which was good, because 45 years of communal shit versus a 5-year-old child, the communal shit is higher. The communal shit is about 4 feet higher. I was about 4 feet tall, and there was about 8 feet of shit. So I'd gone all the way in. My mother had to kind of dig down and dig and drag me out. I wish I could tell you that I was able to hold my breath the entire time. But I was brought up not to tell lies, so... My mother eventually managed to drag me out of this 8-foot depth of shit. And then like, oh fuck, I'm so happy to be alive, I'm so happy to be alive. It's like, fucking stay there. Why am I in trouble? I don't understand why I'm in trouble. So fucking stay there. She then went into the house. She filled a bathtub. Well, we didn't have bathtubs in those days. We had tubs that we would bathe in that could be moved, that could be taken outside. So she filled a tub with water that was about this kind of size. She filled it with hot water, she brought it outside, she threw it at me. And she did that for the next 2.5 hours. Until she was happy that I was suitably clean enough that I could take off whatever I was wearing and be allowed to run upstairs into the tub and bathe. I'm not sure who was more embarrassed, me or my mother, but I'm going to guess her, because she would consider it that she didn't teach me properly, not to jump on things that might collapse. Around about the same time, I have a whole bunch of stories between when I was like between 4 and 8 years old. But around about the same time as me falling into a pile of shit, I woke up one morning in my bedroom to see a big hole in the wall, and the bedroom floor was wet, which was very confusing for me because when I went to bed there wasn't a hole in the wall and the floor was not wet. I climbed out of bed. I walked downstairs and squelched on every step as I walked down the stairs. I got into the kitchen to find my mother, the rest of my siblings, all of the neighbours, and 17 firefighters sitting in the kitchen having breakfast. And as you may have noticed, I don't have a huge proliferation of teeth. The first tooth I ever lost was that morning. Because I walked downstairs, I woke up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. There's a hole in the bedroom wall that was not there earlier. The bedroom floor is wet. All of the stairs are wet. I walk downstairs. I walk into the kitchen. There's my mother. There's my 3 sisters. There's my brother. There's 17 firefighters. And I said, what the fuck is going on? And my mother got a bar of soap and rammed it into my mouth because I was swearing. And that is the first tooth I ever lost. And what the fuck was going on is our house had been on fire in the middle of the night. Quite literally, my mother, who had been drinking with her friend and had been partaking of some substances that we might know as mushrooms, of the magical variety, they'd left the bar at midnight and they're walking home, and my mother was like, look at all those beautiful lights in the sky. Oh my God, it's amazing. Those beautiful lights in the sky were the fire brigade outside our house, which was on fire. And my mother, once she realised it was our house, she's like, oh my God, all my kids are inside. And I'm like, no, we've got the kids here. Look, they're all here. And she's like, oh great, my kids are safe. And the fire brigade put the fire out. They did everything that they needed to do. And then 2 hours later, I woke up. And at no point in between did my fucking mother notice that I wasn't one of the kids that was there. She tried to blame me for this. She was like, the fire brigade, literally, they came into your bedroom with sledgehammers and they banged a fucking hole in the wall so they could put their hose in and put out the fire in the chimney. And you didn't wake up. How was I supposed to know that you weren't there? I was like, count your fucking children, woman. Count your fucking children. That's how you're supposed to know I'm not there. You have 5 children. 4 of them are in front of you. 1 of them is not. There's a problem. This may be why I have anger issues in these days. I don't know, but possibly. But not very long after that, after we had the issue of me falling into the outdoor toilet, and after we had the issue of the lights in the sky, the amazing lights in the sky, my mother came home from work one day and she said, Damien, here's some money, go and buy a chicken from the farm. This was a task I could do. I knew where the farm was. I had previously gone with my mother to buy a chicken from the farm. I can do this. I'm like, okay, I'll run up the hill. I will say to the farmer, my mother wants a chicken. I will give him money. I will come home. I will give my mother the bag with the chicken. She will open the bag, and the chicken jumped out. My mother wasn't happy. And I couldn't understand why, because she told me, Simon, I've got her a chicken. She didn't say, go and buy me a dead chicken. She didn't say, go and buy me a chicken that has been killed and plucked and is ready to cook. She said, go and buy a chicken. I bought her a chicken. So I come home, the chicken jumps out, the chicken is running around, and a quick show of hands, how many people here have ever had a live chicken in a sack for 30 minutes and then let it go? Really? None of you? That's a surprise. Not really. There's a thing with chickens. Fortunately for us, it was not a female chicken. Or maybe a female chicken would have been better. When chickens are stressed, they really, really, really want to go to the toilet. So the chicken comes out of the sack, and the chicken's like, yes, yes, I'm free. Just shitting everywhere. Just letting itself go. It's just releasing all of the stress that it's had in the last half an hour in the sack. While my mother is looking at me and going, you fucking stupid asshole, why did you buy me a live chicken? Well, you didn't tell me to buy you a dead chicken. Eventually my mother calmed down enough to deal with the chicken, and the only way she knew to deal with the chicken is to put her fingers under the beak, twist, and break its neck. It's the most humane way to kill a chicken if you do it right. If you're a little bit too forceful, which my mother, who was a little bit stressed because she was pissed off at the chicken shitting all over the fucking place, she wasn't at her most calm, so she wrenched a little bit harder than she would have normally done. Yes, she killed the chicken, but then she had a chicken head in her hand, and she had the rest of the chicken running around like, where's my head, where's my head, where's my head, where's my head? And the problem now is that the chicken was stressed when it was in a bag. But when the chicken is out of the bag and doesn't have a head anymore, it's much more stressed. It's so fucking stressed. But also now there's stuff coming out the other end. Because it doesn't have a head anymore to keep shit in. So the chicken's running around going, look, where's my head? Where's my head? Where's my head? Blood, 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 blood. Blood, blood, blood. It took about 9 minutes for the chicken to realise it was dead. 9 very long minutes of my mother staring at me and calling me names and telling me I'm a piece of shit. But eventually the chicken realised it was dead and flopped over and got sorted. Now my mother can deal with the chicken. Actually no, first she has to clean the kitchen. Cleaning the kitchen took a while, several hours. Cleaning the detritus off the chicken took another couple of hours. Plucking the chicken, making the chicken ready to throw in the oven took another. I think all in all it took about 12 hours. From the chicken lying flat on the floor to my mother being able to put the chicken in the oven. For some reason my mother never asked me to go shopping again. And she didn't eat chicken for many, many years. I have no idea why. I've got 2 more stories from about the same time. And then I think it will be time for you all to get more beer for the ridiculous part of my life. So again, when I was 6, 7 years old, thereabouts, where we lived, behind the house, all of the fields and farms and everything else where I could go and buy a chicken. In front of the house, a motorway, a highway, what the Czechs would call the D1, but the traffic moves. 3 lanes of traffic in each direction going at around 70 miles an hour. That was literally from our front door to here. And I was a 6-year-old boy. I was annoying because I was a 6-year-old boy. I was like, why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why can't I have the latest? Yeah, actually, why can't I have the latest shit? Wasn't a thing in the 1970s because we didn't know about that crap. It's like, why can't I go and stay at my friend's house? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Mum, 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 mum. We've all had mothers, I'm quite certain. And most of our mothers would be like, if you're really annoying, fuck off to your room. Go talk to your dad. Go play with your siblings. These are the ways that mothers generally behave with children. My mother, possibly because I was a dick, was like, can you just fuck off and play on the motorway? I'm like, because I'm a good child, I always do as I'm told. I'm like, yeah, sure. I can do that. I can definitely do that. But I'm not going to go and play on my own, because that's fucking boring. So I went and I found my brother, I found my sisters, I got my friends from down the street, we got our dogs from both houses, we found a few more friends, we found another couple of dogs, and we're like, how long will we play on the motorway for? Maybe we'll need food. So we all went to our houses and we made sandwiches, we got drinks, and we were like, we're in for a session, we're going to go and play. We got all of the food, we got everything that we needed, we went, we climbed over the wall, we dodged the first 3 lanes of traffic to the middle of the motorway where there's barriers, the crash barriers on both sides. Let's have a picnic. And we were perfectly happy. We were sensible, we had the dogs on leash so they couldn't run into traffic. We had the kids under the age of 5 on leash as well, so they couldn't run into traffic. We were just enjoying ourselves, and then, for some reason that I do not understand, the police were called. And the police came. And the first thing the police did was stop traffic in both directions, because there's like 25 kids in the middle of the motorway having a picnic. And they don't want any kids to die. And the police came and they're like, what the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiots? And this was the first time in my life that I knew that I could possibly be a diplomat. Because I said, our mother told us to come and play on the motorway. Notice the words our and us. Not my mother told me. I'm deflecting the blame immediately. This isn't just all about me anymore. This could go wrong, so it's not about me. It's our mother told us. And we had 3 different families of kids sitting there on the motorway. I don't know how the police would do things now, but how they did it then was they were like, okay, where are your mothers? And we're like, well, the friends from this side were like, well, our mother works in this place, which is down the road. And they're like, okay, we're going to go and get her. And the friends from this side were like, our mother works at that place, which is like 2-3 miles away. And like, okay, we're going to go and get her. And then to me and my sisters and my brother, like, where's your mother work? She's like, oh, she works like 12 miles away in this factory. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go and get her. So they went and got all 3 mothers for the 3 groups of kids. And the 3 mothers, one by one, arrived. So the first mother, the one that worked closest, came, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid fucking asshole, and kicked him in the ass and took him home. And then the second mother came like half an hour later, she's like, you fucking moron, what are you doing? And she gave him a kick and took him home. And because my mother worked so far away, an hour and a half later she turned up, because it took them that long to go and get her. And she came, and she really wanted to do what all of the other mothers had done. She really wanted to give me a slap and a kick and a punch and beat the fucking crap out of me for being an idiot. But she couldn't, because I was doing as I was told. I was told to go and play on the motorway, and I did. And I did it properly. And she was kind of like, I'm fucking so pissed proud. Am I pissed off or proud? I'm not sure. Like, you're fucking 7 years old and you understand language better than I do, you bastard. So I should have got in trouble, but I didn't really. And again, round about the same time, I got pissed off by my siblings. I was just annoyed one day. Really fucking annoyed. When you have 4 siblings in the 1970s, you don't have many options for other things to do. You have to play with them or you have to avoid them. I was annoyed with my siblings. I decided I wanted to fucking avoid the bastards. So I took a book and I went into the garden of the house next door, And in this garden, they had like a sofa that was upside down against the fence. Because they were throwing this sofa away. They just bought a new sofa. They're throwing the sofa away. They're like, we don't need this anymore. We'll put it upside down in case someone else wants it. But we don't need it anymore. And I'm like, I've got a book. I'll crawl under there. I'm going to read my book. And then I fell asleep. Because I was reading, I think I was reading some like Mills and Boon romance book. So it was boring as shit. I fell asleep reading the book, and that's like the story earlier about the lights in the sky. That's the last thing I really remember. What happened whilst I was asleep under the sofa was I didn't come home for dinner at 6 p.m, which was a first. As you can tell, I like food. Even then, I liked food. They're like, where the fuck is he? He's not come home for food. We'll give it an hour, we'll give it 2 hours. Still didn't come home. So then my sister had to go to my grandfather's house because he was the only person that had a phone to call the police. The police came. They searched our house. They went to all of the houses along the street where I might be, and to my friends, like, is he here? Is he here? They got a police sniffer dog that went into everyone's house and went running around the garden next door. It ran underneath the sofa that I was sleeping under, ran over me, but didn't wake me up. Apparently my smell is so special that a police sniffer dog can stand on me and go, I want to pretend he's not fucking here. Like, I don't want to, I'm not going to admit that I fucking found that fucking foul thing. So they had no idea where I was. So then the police were like to my mother, well, where else could he be? And she's like, oh, every summer we go to this place, it's like 7 miles away. We have to go through woods and down country lanes and everything else, and we go there. But every summer we go there and we spend like 6 weeks there, and it's his favourite place. So if he's going to run away, he's going to go there. If he's pissed off about something, he's going to go there. So they sent a search party looking for me. And the search party started by walking down our street and then walking through the woods at the bottom of the street. And then they got to the country lane and they're walking along the country lane. And about 3 o'clock in the morning I woke up under the sofa in next door's garden. And I woke up and like, okay, I didn't mean to fall asleep. And I kind of come out and I go to the back door of our house, which had, to that point in my life had always been open. And I go to go in, it's closed. I'm like, well, that's new. But I was a bright kid. I'm like, well, there's more than one door to a house. I went to the front of the house, I knocked on the door, and my mother opened the door like 45 seconds later. She said, oh my God, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive. I don't understand the problem. I was reading a book and then I was locked out. That is all I know. But my mother's happy that I'm there. And the police, as is normal in the case of a missing child, there is always a police officer left in the house in case the kid comes home. Then they can get on the radio and say, we've got him, everything's safe, everyone's fine, it's all good. We can stop looking for the fucking little dickhead. The problem in this instance was it was about 1979. And radios in 1979 were not what they are now. Like now, you've got a signal wherever the fuck you go. Unless you're in a tunnel on a train, you've got Wi-Fi. You've got whatever fucking signal you want. In 1979, even for the police band radios that were the fucking most powerful signals they had, they didn't stretch more than 1.5 miles outside the city centre. And so the police lady that was in the house was like, okay, code green, we've got him. No reply. Absolutely no reply. And they worked out that the reason there was no reply was because the search party that was looking for me were probably at least 4 or 5 miles away by now. So they had to send the search party to get the search party that was looking for me. In my later years, in my mother's later years, she used to kind of say, like, I had 5 kids and the one that was the least trouble was me. I was the least trouble of my mother's 5 kids. I'm quite certain you can all agree that if I was the least trouble of her 5 kids, no wonder my fucking mother chose to die at 56. But yeah, I think now it's a good time for everyone to go and get more beer. Go get more beer, get more drinks, and then I'll continue afterwards. I forgot the really important part about the go and get more beer bit is the competition. There is a competition on this table here. There are some pieces of paper and there is a pen. I will ask anyone who wants to write the best joke you know. Write the best joke you can think of, 1-liner, 5-liners, I don't care. If your joke is racist, sexist, homophobic, offensive in any way, I will discard it. I only want good jokes.
I'm terrible.
Write the best jokes you know. After the break, whoever has the best jokes can win prizes. So there's a paper, there's a pen there. Do not add your name, because if you put your name to your joke, it will be discarded as well, because I might be accused of favoritism. I don't want to know who's written the jokes.
I had a English lesson.
Now go get more beer.
I had an English lesson thing that had the best joke in the world. Like, it was actually researched.
I did stress beforehand, if you make a joke that is racist, sexist, homophobic, really offensive, I will just discard it. I only want jokes that are real jokes. The first joke submitted by the audience. I have 2 wishes when I die. Number 1, I want to have my remains spread at Disneyland. Number 2, I don't want to be cremated. I like that joke. Next one. At a job interview, the interviewer asks the candidate, can you explain the gap in your CV? The candidate says, yes, I spent 3 hours formatting in Word and you opened it in Google Docs. That's going into a slightly different category. But it's a good joke. Next one. My friend transitioned from a man to a woman recently. I asked her, of all the cuts I made, which one hurt the most? She said, the salary. That's definitely going in the good pile. Elon Musk cannot be a Nazi. Nazis made good cars. Nazis made Volkswagen, so that will go in the second pile. There's going to be 3 piles. There's good, there's okay but cheesy. Whoever wrote this one is clearly deranged. Damien is not alcoholic. In fairness, I agree. An alcoholic is someone you don't like, who drinks more than you do. I'm a professional drunk. Hey, what can I get you? A time traveler walked into a bar.
It's too high ground, man.
Racist, that's the fuck off. This is a joke that's ripping off a joke that I've seen before. So I'll read it, but it's definitely not winning a prize. A farmer walks outside and sees a man just standing in the middle of his wheat. And he goes to the guy and says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I want to win a Nobel Prize." He's like, "What the fuck makes you think you will win a Nobel Prize?" He's like, "When I'm out standing in a field." It's shit. It was good 100 years ago, but it's shit. Actually, I kind of like this one. The beauty of their women and the taste of their food is what made the British really good sailors. I kind of like that one. That one's just too complicated. So I have 3 jokes in category 1 and 2 jokes in category 2. There is 1 prize for category 2 and 2 prizes for category 1. So it's up to you guys to decide. Jokes in category 1. Beauty of their women and taste of their food made the British sailors. Does that go into the playoff with one of these 2?
No.
Yes.
No. Had it already.
Huh? What the fuck does that mean?
It means that if you say yes, we will decide which is the best of these 2, and then that will go against this one.
Which is what?
Can't you just read all 3?
Just read, dude.
My friend transitioned from a man to a woman. I asked her all the cuts that were made, which was the worst. She said the salary. And I have 2 wishes for when I die. I want my remains spread to Disneyland. I don't want to be cremated. You say the last one is the best? And what about the second best?
Traumatized children.
Second best. Pretty sailors.
Pretty sailors.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who wrote the joke about 2 wishes for when I die? Get up here. Get your prize. Who wrote the British sailors joke? Get up here. What is your name? Carl. If you get the booming prize, you get a copy of a book that I wrote. That will be signed by me. See, you're okay. Carl. Me? Okay. Signed copy of my book. Okay, now the second category. The worst joke of the night that was not horribly offensive.
There it is.
At a job interview, the interviewer asked the candidate, explain the gap in your CV. I was converting from Words to Google Docs. Or Elon Musk cannot be a Nazi. Nazis make good cars.
The first one.
Well, are we waiting for best or worst?
Which is the worst of these two jokes?
First one. First one. Definitely.
So, job interview is the worst joke of the day.
Yeah.
Who wrote that joke? Who wrote the joke at a job interview?
Why would anyone claim that?
Because they have a prize.
Stay quiet.
There is a prize for whoever claims that joke.
Yeah!
You have some cheese for being the cheesiest person here. You get cheese.
Sure you don't want it.
Good comeback.
So congratulations to all the winners and losers. I have about 30 minutes of time
For the bus.
before I need to worry about getting a bus. It's really fucking annoying. So I'm limiting the second half of my show to 4 stories. The first story is going to be about the first time I went to Istanbul. The first time I went to Istanbul was in 2005. I'm a big fan of Liverpool Football Club. Really, really big fan of Liverpool Football Club. And I also have a lot of Czech friends. And in 2005, Liverpool Football Club had Czech players. And Liverpool Football Club were really, really shit, but they got to the Champions League final. Somehow. I'm just saying pure fucking facts. I got a phone call from my friend Eric, who is from Hodonin, which is not very far from here. 10 days before the Champions League final in Istanbul, my friend Eric called me and said, Damien, do you want a ticket for the Champions League final? I'm like, fuck yes. Yes. I want to go and watch my team in the Champions League final, even though, especially because we're shit, because I might never get another fucking opportunity. And Eric said, okay, I have tickets. I've got tickets from Vladimir Smica. who is one of the Liverpool players playing in the team. He's like, I've got tickets. You need to meet me in Hoddeneen at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. The game is the following Wednesday. It's a week away. He's like, meet me in Hoddeneen at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, 1 week before the game. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. This is Monday, 2 days before I have to be in Hoddeneen. I go to work on Tuesday and I say to my boss, I need the next 10 days off work. And he's like, nah, not fucking possible. Isn't fucking happening. I'm like, okay, I quit. This is the only chance I might ever get to see my team play in the Champions League final. I'm fucking going to this game, so you can either give me 10 days off or you can fuck off. He's like, okay, we'll find a way to work the 10 days off. I'm like, okay, good. So I'm off. I go and I get on a flight to Prague, then I get on a train to Hoddeneen on Tuesday night, and I have arranged to meet my friend Eric in Hoddeneen at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. At lunchtime, at 12 o'clock, I call my friend Eric. I'm like, Eric, I'm in Hoddeneen at your local bar. Where the fuck are you? We were supposed to meet at 9 o'clock. And he says, I'm in Birmingham. I don't know how good your geography is, but Birmingham is not very close to Hoddeneen. Birmingham is actually closer to Manchester, where I had started, than it is to Hoddeneen. Birmingham is at least in the same fucking country as Manchester, where I had started, as Hoddeneen. So I'm like, Eric, you were supposed to meet me 3 fucking hours ago. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm on the way. That's not helpful. Because I'm relying on Eric to get me from Hoddeneen to Istanbul by car. Which is about 1,100 kilometers. It's a long fucking way. And I don't drive. I used to ride a motorbike and crash it a lot. I've never had a license for a car. I'm like, Eric, you arranged to meet me at 12, it's 3 o'clock, you're in a different fucking country, what's going on? I'm on my way. It's 9 p.m. Another friend of mine called Peter comes and says, I've just spoken to Eric. He's on his way. He was on his way fucking 9 hours ago. That's not helpful. Is he fucking walking? Even swimming like I think it's the record for swimming the English Channel is 12 hours. But then he's still got a long fucking way to come. Is he fucking walking? What's going on? And like, no, he's on his way. But he's asked me to take you from where you are now, the bar that I've been sitting in for 9 hours. As you all know, I like to drink. If I've been sitting in a bar for 9 hours, my average pace per beer is every 30 minutes I will drink a beer. So I've had 18 beers. At the time my friend Peter comes and says, no, I need to move you to a new place. He takes me to a new place. I go to a new place. I sit and I drink beer for another 7 hours. And eventually Eric shows up and Eric's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, yeah, fucking 17 hours late, dickhead. He's like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Here's my bag, let's go. He's like, before we go, I have to go and see my friend in a wine cellar. Because my friend Eric is a Moravian fucking idiot. So we go to a wine cellar. And I have previously had conversations with Eric about the fact that I don't drink wine. I do not like I fucking hate wine. It makes me throw up. So we get to the wine cellar and his friends are like, have some whiskey. Like, okay. They give me a glass with some whiskey in. And then they add more whiskey, and more whiskey, and more whiskey, and more whiskey. The last thing I remember from that wine cellar is a litre jug full of whiskey. I'm drinking this, like I'm going. By this point, I've had 35 beers. Now I've got a 2-pack of whiskey. Like, I'm going. I've forgotten what I'm doing, but I know I'm going somewhere. Literally, the next thing I remember is I wake up sitting in a car. I'm kind of punched, and I wake up and I look, and the first thing I see is the barrel of a gun. Someone's pointing a gun at my head. Why the fuck would they kidnap me? I don't have any fucking money. That's just a waste of kidnapping resources. And I'm fat. I'm going to eat more. That's just like, what the fuck are you doing? This is not efficient kidnapping. This is what I'm instantly thinking when I wake up. And then I notice that the person in the car next to me, I don't know who he is. I look around the other way, I have got no fucking idea who you are. And then there's 3 seats in front of me, I don't know who you are, 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 don't know. Oh yeah, Eric, the fucking hell. Oh yeah, we're going to Istanbul. I need a beer. This is how I remember this process. A quite long, prolonged process of me becoming conscious, seeing a gun barrel, working out what the fuck was going on, and me wanting beer. It turned out the people in the car had a bet on how long it would take from me waking up to wanting beer. And that fucking arsehole Eric won at 3.2 seconds. Why was there a gun pointed at my head? I don't hear you ask. The reason there was a gun pointing at my head was because I was on the border, we were on the border of Serbia and Bulgaria. We were actually at a border crossing and we'd got on all the way there. And at this particular border crossing, they're like, can you prove he's alive? It's like, wake up, you dickhead. I'm like, I'm alive, I need beer. This literally was my reaction. So we get through the border crossing, we continue on, we get to the next border crossing, which is the crossing into Turkey. And the crossing into Turkey is taking a long time. And at this point, it's occurred to me, in my small brain, the last time I went to a toilet was in a wine cellar in Moravia. And things are kind of backing up a little bit. Which is annoying, but I'm like, I can hold on. And we kind of slowly make our way, one vehicle at a time, through the border crossing. And we eventually get there, and by this time, like, I'm crossing my legs, I'm like, I need to go, but I can't go because I'm in the middle of a car, and no, can't do that. We're allowed across the border, and the first thing I see is toilet. And I bolt out of the door, and I go charging to the toilet, and I run through the door, and I go to the cubicle. And what do I find in the cubicle? A hole in the floor, because it's fucking Turkey and they're not civilized. And I see the hole in the floor. And I'm like, but I fucking really need to go. So I kind of back up and I kind of squat against the wall and I drop my pants and I'm like, can I aim well enough? I think we've all, when we were younger, been in a forest and needed to shit and accidentally shot on our pants. I'm trying to avoid doing this at this toilet in Istanbul. Well, not even in Istanbul, in Turkey. I'm just on the board. I drop my pants and I'm squatting. I'm like, away. And an avalanche comes. It's like 2 days of shit. It's just coming out of me. Just so much just comes out. It's and after like 10, 12 minutes, after all of this is coming out of me, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now I just need the paper, and I'm good to go. And it was at this point that I realised, it's at this point that I remembered running through the door into the toilet and seeing the little woman sitting at a table charging money for toilet paper. And I spent like 7 or 8 minutes just going. There's nothing to do apart from kind of very sheepishly open the door, find some coins in my wallet, give them to the woman, get some toilet paper, have a wipe, stand up, and then the second wave happened. It's really fucking annoying. The good news is I don't envision any circumstances where I'll ever be at that border crossing ever again. I will finish with the story about my life being a lie. My entire life is a fucking lie. You want to know how my entire life is a lie? My entire life, I have suffered from terrible insomnia. I'm really not good at sleeping. I don't sleep very well. On an average day, I might sleep for 2 hours, maybe 3. Which is good today, because I have to be somewhere near Liberec at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. But generally, it's really shit. But the problem with insomnia is my girlfriend has this really amazing ability that we can lie and we're sitting there, we're watching a movie, or we're watching a TV show, and we're both happy and we're enjoying ourselves, and then suddenly she'll turn to me and she'll go, "Good night." And 4 seconds later, she's asleep. I fucking hate that she can do that. For me, I'll be like, I think I can sleep now, and then my head hits a pillow, and my brain just goes off in different directions. My brain will ask questions like, why have you never met a pregnant Barbie? There are so many Barbies, why is there not a pregnant Barbie? And then I remember a song that I heard many, many years ago, like, I scream, you all scream for ice cream. And then my head will go, is it because Ken comes in a different box? And then I'll kind of like, I scream, you all scream for ice cream. And I'm like, I read recently that 74,297 people got married last year in the Czech Republic. I'm like, I scream, you all scream for ice cream. My brain like, shouldn't that be an even number? And my brain just goes off on these fucking stupid things like, why do we call childbirth delivery when it should be takeout? It's like, these are the things that happen in my head when I'm trying to sleep. And then I met my girlfriend and we were living together for a while, and she'd be like, in the middle of the night, she'd like, what's wrong? You're fucking snoring. Snoring, I've got all these fucking weird things in my head, like fucking pregnant Barbies and fucking weird statistics about Czech people getting married and crap. It's like, no, you're fucking snoring, you're a fucking annoying bastard. I don't understand. And unlike most men, I actually believe my girlfriend when she says something's a problem. So she's like, this is a problem. Well, I don't understand how it is, but I'm going to research it. So I researched. And I discovered there's this really fucking annoying thing called paradoxic insomnia. And paradoxic insomnia is where you have really fucking vivid dreams that you can't sleep. It's an actual real thing. This is not me making shit up. It's a real thing. It's a known, established psychotic problem. To the best of my knowledge, the only known established psychotic problem that I suffer from. But yes, I suffer from paradoxic insomnia. My life is a fucking lie. I've always thought, I sleep for 2 hours a day. No, apparently I sleep for 9 hours a day. I just believe I sleep for 2 hours a day. I think I'm a perfectly rational human being, but I vote for Donald Trump. It's the same fucking thing. I think they all suffer from paradoxic insomnia. Okay, I've got 5 more minutes, so I can go to... I did mention earlier about the 3 things that I've done that no one else has done. I went to America and drank. I went to America and lost weight. I came to this country and drank less. And I invented the world's most expensive drink. The world's most expensive drink, for the record, is the vodka Rovka. You've never heard of it? For a reason. When the vodka Rovka was invented, I was in a bar in Prague with a friend of mine from Iceland. My friend from Iceland was 2 meters tall and 1.8 meters wide. He was a very, very big man. And we got into this kind of weird idea one night of like, let's invent cocktails. Let's see what we can do. And the first thing we did was we came up with the Mexicon. The Mexicon is when you mix tequila with vodka. It's Mexican and communist. Mexicon. Very easy. It's a very easy, very nice drink. The next one we came up with was the Russian Pirate. The Russian Pirate is when you mix vodka with rum. And you get Vladimir Putin. He wants to steal countries when no one's looking. And the next one we came up with was the Angry Scotsman. Mixing whiskey with vodka. Then you get someone that's really fucking angry and hates his neighbours. Actually, for Scottish people, you don't need the vodka. It's just automatic. And then I came up with the ultimate, the greatest drink ever known to man, the vodka Rovka. Where you mix vodka with Bekarovka. I know it sounds disgusting. But it tastes amazing. It tastes so fucking good. Actually, I say it tastes so fucking good. My Icelandic friend, he had one in a bar in Žižkov at 2 a.m. Spent the next 45 minutes in the toilet. Then got a taxi to the airport and I haven't seen him since. This was 17 years ago. So for him, apparently it was a little bit much. For me, it tasted really good, so I had another one. And then I had another one. And then I went home. Except, when I went home, I didn't go to my home. I was looking after my friend's dog, so I went to his home. And my friend had this really, really nice, very white, beautiful apartment. and he had a really, really nice, beautiful white dog. And after 3 vodka Rovkas, that was the first and only time in my life I thought, you know what would be a really good idea when I get home from the pub? Cooking.
Genius.
I decided that I really needed some potato pancakes. So I put the frying pan on the stove, I turned it on, I put some oil in, I threw some potato pancakes in there, and then about 12 hours later, I woke up in the Gothic dream. The entire apartment was black. There were cobwebs everywhere. There were cobwebs on my face. There were cobwebs on the dog's face. There were fucking cobwebs out. The dog, this beautiful white fucking half Alsatian, half husky dog. To use a word that I would not use in any other circumstances, the fucking nigger. The dog was so fucking black. Completely black. The flat was black. Everything was black. The whole fucking place. And I woke up like, this isn't where I went to sleep. Apparently it was. I'm assuming that the dog turned the stove off at some point, because I don't recall doing it. Otherwise, me and the dog would have died. But I said the most expensive drink in the world. The actual shot of a double shot of vodka, a double shot of Bekrovka, cost 200 crowns. That's not expensive, that's not a fucking problem. I had to pay 150,000 crowns to repair everything in my friend's flat. So now it's a little bit more expensive. I also had to use my boss. At the time I was proofreading for someone, and I had to use her as a translator with the decorators. So she came and she's like, I'm paying this fucking idiot money to translate for me, to proofread me. No, fuck you. So prior to that day, she was paying me 40,000 crowns a month. So if she'd only employed me for 1 more year, that would have been, I worked out as between the job and repairing the flat and everything else, I worked out for the 3 shots of vodka 210,000 crowns per shot. Which makes it the most expensive drink known to man. But not the most expensive liquid. The most expensive liquid known to man is mosquito sperm. Mosquito sperm. Mosquito sperm costs $3.5 million per litre. It's very, very expensive. And the title of this show is My Life is a Joke. Because my life is a joke. I've been up to so many fucking stupid things. Everything I do is ridiculous. But how much of a joke is the life of the guy whose career is wanking off mosquitoes? And that's the end of my show. Thank you all. There is a jar somewhere over there. If you want to give me money, give me money. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next time.